This diagonal line. This is called diagonal line. This concept is understood and comprehended by a human child at the age of 4 years. So before that it is only roting. He really doesn't understand what he is learning. Are you getting my point? Bolo. And that's when you say, મરી ગયા બિચારા 2 વર્ષના કંઈ ખબર નથી પડતી. You understand? So we force all that. And then we say, મારો બેબીને બહુ સરસ માર્ક આવ્યા. અરે, it is a 3-year-old. What is mark? And the mothers are very proud. 90% mark આવ્યા. અહીંયા આપે કે નહીં આપે? ના આપે? બાપા, I don't know, the intelligence of the parents is just amazing. What are you talking? 90% at that day, it doesn't make sense. And then they compare with 3-year-old, huh? And the parents are more in competition than the... And says, Bhagavan, what to do in these circumstances? How am I ever going to remember you? And then the exam. And then this. Oof. Then, okay, I grew. I became a young guy. Pachi to. प्रौढोऽहं यौवनस्थः विषयविषधरैः पञ्चभिर्मर्मसन्धौ दष्टो नष्टो विवेकः सुत धन युवती स्वादसौखे निषण्णः शैवी चिन्ताविहीन मम हृदय मानगर्वाधिरूढः क्षन्तव्यो मे पराधः शिव 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 भो श्रीमहादेव शम्भो. अरे यौवनस्था, when you are in the youth તો ગઈકાલે વાત કરી ને, માનગર્વાધિરૂઢ. And all the 5 senses are at their what? Peak. આ કરવું છે, તે પાર્ટીમાં જઈને પેલું આમ કરીએ, આ કરીએ ને પીએ ને આમ કરે ને તે. And all વિરોધી things you want to do together. ભણવું પણ છે અને પાર્ટીમાં પણ જવું છે. Everything happens together. And what happens? વિષયધરે. Why do you think they go to college? The boys or girls? બોલો ભાઈ, તમે લોકોએ ગયા છો, યાદ કરો, શું કરવા ગયા હતા? ભણવા કોઈ જાય છે? સાચું કહો. Why do they go to college? Some of them very good. સ્વામીજી ત્યાં છોકરીઓ બહુ જોવા મળે. જોવા નહીં, વાતો કરવા સાથે. બોથ. એટલે આઈ ટેલ યુ, અહીંયા જેટલા છે ને પેરેન્ટ્સ, ત્યાં એમના છોકરાઓ લંડનમાં હોય ને, બટ દે આર ઓલ વરિડ પીપલ ઓવર હિયર. ઇઝ ઇટ ટ્રુ ઓર નોટ? દર વખતે પૂછે, હા તાર ફ્રેન્ડ્સ કોણ છે? દે બેઝિકલી વોન્ટ ટુ નો કે ગર્લફ્રેન્ડ બોયફ્રેન્ડ ના હોય તો. ઇઝ ઇટ ટ્રુ ઓર નોટ? બોલો બધા બેઠા જ તો અહીંયા. શું કરતો હશે ત્યાં? વોટ હી મસ્ટ બી ડુઈંગ? સો એવરી ટાઈમ, બેબી હાઉ આર યુ બેટા? બધું બરાબર છે ને? અંદરથી એમ થાય કે આ ખબર નહીં શું કરતો હશે. કેટલા વાગે ઘરે આવ્યો તો? એટલે પેલો એ જુઠ્ઠું જ બોલતો હોય. What is this guy doing? What is Vishadharaihi? Isn't it? Suta dhana yuvati. And once they marry, bachi children. But whole life is like a little, they forget anything. એટલે પછી when they get married, no, we said for few years બુદ્ધિ બરાબર નહીં ચાલશે, don't talk. પછી એમને છોકરા, when they get their own kids, then હવે કંઈક. So therefore what happens? Youth, Bhagwan, I wanted to remember you, I wanted to think of you, but so many responsibilities and children and this, and how am I ever going to cope with everything? Bhagwan, you understand? Bhagwan, oh. Then they grow old. Now nothing. They can't complain. They have nothing to do. I mean, they have a lot of work. Then, but they have their own excuses. What is that? Vardhakye chendriyanam vigata gatimati adhidaivaditapaihi papai rogai viyogaihi stvanavasita vapuhu shaktihinam deenam mithya mohabhilashaihi भ्रमति मम मनो दुर्जटे ध्यान शून्यम क्षन्तव्यो मे पराधः शिव 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 भोः श्री महादेव शंभो. What happens? Vardhakya. Now you want to remember, but you can't remember anything. And what you don't want to remember, you keep remembering all the time. Is it true or not? And then right in front of your eyes, people who are near and dear go away, isn't it? You hear, "Arey, aa tumhara bo fine friend tha, gaya." Isn't it? The pain of seeing your near and dear ones going in front of your eyes is very painful. Then, Shaktihinam, Deenam. What to do in this condition? Bhagwan, how could I have remembered you? Now I've come at the doorstep of death. Please forgive me for all those excuses that I gave. Actually, they are only excuses. I could have remembered you. Are you understanding? If we think that we can do something with our life after or when everything is conducive, it will never happen. It's like this man who went to the beach waiting for, morning he was like in his swim trunks and he's waiting and waiting. So someone asked him, evening, what happened? From morning you're waiting, it's evening also. What are you waiting for? He's saying, I'm waiting for all the waves to come down. Completely no waves, then I'll go and jump and swim. When will he swim? He will never swim. Have you all understood that? If you think you're going to wait for a conducive environment, everything is fine, and then I will start, what? Doing good or living meaningfully. Now, first all I have this sansar nu badu pati chaine, then it will never get over. Are you understanding that? Something or the other will always be there. First you have children, then you will have what? Grandchildren. That's what happens. So many of them spend their time babysitting their grandchildren. Is it true or not? So many of them. And at that age when they are physically so, not capable, and then they are running after the, hey baby, don't run away. You can't even run. You can't. And they said, Papa, dhyan rakjo ne. Main chokra, I'm going for a party. There you go. Refuse. And that's why, what they used to do in the olden days, and it was said, that the first, when you see the face of your first grandchild, it could be a grandson or a granddaughter, it doesn't matter, you leave home. Swamiji, that's the time when we, you leave home. Swamiji, why should we leave home? It's our home. Okay, let the kids live in another room. They say, no, Swamiji, it's not possible to leave home. First they said, go to the jungle. Yeah, jungle, very difficult. All your life you've never lived in the jungle. You can't start one day living in the jungle. Fine. Live in your home in such a way that you don't let the house take care of itself and you occupy yourself with something. See, till now you had to earn your living. Now you don't have to earn your living. Now what do you have to do? You can give your services for the sake. That's why there's a very, very beautiful formula which the Chinmay Vanaprastha has brought out, especially, and this is true for all ages, but especially so for the aged people, for the elders. It is said, Atma Uddhara Jagat Hitaya Cha. Remember this phrase. At that age, what should be your goal? Atma Uddhara, your own inner unfoldment. Because till that time, you didn't devote as much time to your inner unfoldment. Now is the perfect time. You must do that. Inner unfoldment, because now, otherwise you've lived your life without achieving your spiritual goal. So your inner unfoldment is a very important goal at that time. And Jagat Hitaya Cha, and serve others. Whatever, till now, you have only took care of your wife and your children and, brought them up. At least now, when all that is over, spend your time, your energies, your money for what? For what? Jagat Hitaya Cha, in service of mankind. As long as you eat, you have to serve. Have you understood this? Bolo. The day you stop eating the food from this earth, you have no more obligations to serve the world. Will you remember this? But as long as you're eating, you have an obligation. And this service should start right from this Atma Uddhara and Jagat Hitaya is not just the goal for elder people, but it's the goal for every human being. Do you agree with me? Throughout your life, you should strive for Atma Uddhara and Jagat Hit. But especially in the old age, now you don't have to work for your own this. Therefore, at least at that time, learn to what? Serve others. And in serving others, you unfold yourself. You remember, it's all both. The more and more you unfold, the more you will want to serve. The more you serve, the more you unfold. It goes like that. There is a lovely story. There was a kingdom, and in that kingdom, at one point they decided that we will have a different way of choosing a king. It says a person can choose to become a king. But whoever becomes the king gets complete and total power for 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, the kingdom was in a place, and then there was a river, and the opposite side of the river was a real thick forest infested with wild animals. So it says at the end of the 5 years, this particular person would be put into or taken away and thrown into this forest. And on that condition, a person can become a king. So one person took over and he says, okay, I am going to take over this. Everyone was happy, fine. And then he said, 5 years of total power, all the pleasures available, total, like everything is this. So he enjoyed himself, and he didn't do a thing for the people. 5 years is over, and he is taken to, they said, and he says, but give me a chance, I'll live over here only, and I'll do anything, but don't take me to the other side. And say nothing doing, this is the rule, and you have to follow it. So what happened? They put him in the boat, the boatman took him, they dragged him, and then the other side, they pushed him. The boatman came back. He's screaming away, help me, save me. Nothing doing. The second man became the king. He took charge. 2.5 years. He enjoyed himself like anything. After that, he got worried. Only 2.5 more years. Now what to do? Now what to do? Now what to do? And then slowly started worrying. In 2 years' time, I have to go into the forest. 1.5 years' time, I have to go there. 1 year time. And slowly, as the time came nearer, he became such a worried and sick man. Anyway, at the end of 5 years, they dragged him, took him, put him on the boat. Third king came in. He had seen the condition of the other two kings, and especially when they were taken, they were all crying and, protesting. So he started worrying from the day one. 5 varas ma mari gaya. I'm going to die in 5 years, and 4 years, and 3 years, and 2 years, and all the time he was so worried. At the end of 5 years, they took him, and same condition. He got so nervous, he didn't even wait to go to the other shore. In the middle of the river, he jumped. Gaya. Then the fourth king came. Now don't worry, there's not 2 minutes, this is the last one. The fourth king came, and he took over and he really helped the people. He served them, he himself enjoyed, and he was very good to everyone. Very good. He took care of everyone. And then everyone must be thinking, he wants to stay second term. So he's being good. But when it was 5 years, normally they had to drag this person. He himself said, get the boat. Is the boat ready? I am ready to go. And now they realized that this was the best king they've ever had. And they said, please, you stay on. We will give you an extension. We're changing our rules. We're changing our constitution. You please stay for 5 more years. You'll be the best person we've ever had. He says, no. 5 years is 5 years, and I am going. And then he sat in the boat. The boatman said, this guy looks so confident. I've taken the other 3, and I know what condition they were in. So he says, let me see if I can psych this guy. So he said, and then as they were going, he waved to all the praja. Everyone was crying, oh, what a wonderful king and all. Anyway, as he was going, the boatman said, this is what happened to the first one, this is what happened to the second one, third one didn't survive till that side. He jumped in and this guy kept listening. He went to the other shore, and when they reached the other shore, the king is telling the boatman, will you come with me? I want to show you something very wonderful. He says, are you mad? I didn't become a king. Why should I go? To the other side. I don't want to go with you. He says, look, if at all there's a lion or something coming, he'll catch me first. You run away, okay? You don't worry about it. I'll go in the front. You come behind me. So you can come back. Okay, since he saw the king so confident and so, serene, he thought he was going to his death, and he still looked so serene. He thought something must be there. So, okay, fine. And still a little scared, he went behind the king. And as they entered into this thick forest, they found a small little path. Started walking on this path, and as they went ahead, they found that the path increased a little bit in size, and there was a clearing in the forest, and a beautiful chariot was waiting over there. And this boatman said, "This is wonderful." And the minute they saw the king, they saluted him and said, "Please, aye, baithe, come in, sit down." And the king told the boatman, "You want to come?" He says, "This is not bad. Let me also." See, so the king and the boatman sat in the chariot, and the chariot was driven. And as the road widened, we came into almost a city. Beautiful doors and on the two sides of the road, people were standing and saying, "Jai ho, victory to the king, victory to the king." And as they proceeded, they found a beautiful palace. They came to a beautiful palace. And at the entrance of the palace, people were standing with kalasha, pepe, pupu, dham, 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 all the proper reception given to a king. And he was taken in. And as the sportsman is like, "What is happening?" And when he came in, and he was taken straight to the throne and coronated, and he became the king. It sounds like a fairy tale, but it's got a lot of meaning. Like the story? Now, all of us, with no exception, have a limited time to live. Is it true or not? You and I don't know how much we are going to live, but it's already written. The day, before we came here, it was already decided. Our lifespan was decided. And do you know, by the way, how our lifespan is measured? Are you aware of that? By the number of breaths that you take. Okay? That is fixed. What is fixed? How many breaths you are taking in this earth. So better not breathe hard and fast. If you want to live longer, breathe slow and steady. And if you get angry, if there's passion, then you breathe faster. You die faster. Have you understood that? Bolo. So don't get angry. One other good reason for not getting angry. You won't live so long. So, all of us, no exception, our lifespan is what? Fixed. It's decided. And Bhagwan is very nice. See, when a bottle of medicine comes into the, the expiry date is already stamped, and then the bottle that is filled with those tablets. Is it true or not? The expiry date is stamped on it. Similarly, our expiry date is also on this bottle, it is stamped. It's an invisible ink, so you can't see it. Some astrologers make a prediction and says, "I think it looks approximately, expiry date likha hai thoda, 70 years hoega." Have you got this? Astrologers do that, huh? Your lifeline? Okay. So, sometimes it's difficult to tell the date because you don't know how many breaths you're going to take in between, right? So, date is difficult, but approximate age. If you breathe so many times a day, approximately for so many years, you would be, that's how they calculate. Now, the astrologers don't calculate that way. But Bhagwan's account happens like that. And once that breath is taken, whatever you're supposed to take, you can't take one extra breath. Isn't it? Gaya. Then they try, artificially pelu lagavi karave. Pan andar gayu andar pan, it's not going to give you life. You understand that? That's it. Finish. So we all have a fixed time, 5 years. 5 years means a fixed time that we are going to live in this world. Now you can choose how you live. Either you live like the first king, khao piyo maja karo. And then at the time of death, hey, not jao. I don't want to go. I don't want to quit. Or you live like the second one, half your life, ha ha ha, and then hoo hoo hoo. So many people are like that. The students also, they don't study in this. And then later on they worry. Have you seen that? Pehla bahut party kare and pachi bahut fikr kare. This is it. There's so many people, they live like that. Very indulgent life in the beginning, and then in the end, all roga, bhoga, all these things come on, isn't it? The rest of the life is all medicines. And sometimes it's very interesting. You go to the house of this very rich man, he's got a fleet of servants, and Everything is there. And his dining table, and so hundreds of things on the dining table. But he has a special meal. One special katori will be there, a bowl of at least 10 different type of different colored tablets. That is his meal. The servants eat very well in such houses. Because for who will eat all that? They are very well fed. And then this, he's saying, our diabetes matter. This is for blood pressure. This is for what? That peptic ulcer. Tension bhau છે, tension. Stress. Xenu apa bo paisa છે એનું stress. So much of this now. He is busy eating that. So your bhoga is over. Your quota of bhoga is over. Now roga is the only thing that's left. So the first half is like that. Then there are some people from the day one they worry. Are you see some nowadays even kids, 5-year-old kids worrying. Have you seen that? Bolo. 5-year-old. Mane tension thai છે. 5 વર્ષનું. 5-year-old is tension. What tension? Of what? Exam tension. And all their life they worry. There are people like that. Agreed? It's not an old age disease. Nowadays it's becoming. Then what happens? There's some people who live there and die. But this fourth king lived a beautiful life. And as you know, when he was in this, he took some of his people and he says, go to the other side, clear the forest and build a beautiful city over there. And what happened? Those people went there, cleared it, made this. And some of them went and settled down there. And as soon as he left there, he came and he was coronated the king. Our good acts in the present life make us happy here and hereafter. Will you remember that? So it depends on how we choose to live our life. It's a very, very beautiful story about how we should live our life. There's a lot that can be said. But each time you feel, time is a little less. You know, it is said, Nasa sabha yatra na santi vriddha. An audience is not an audience if there are no elders around. Meaning, there is no glory and greatness to an audience which doesn't have what? Elders. But nate vriddha yena vadanti dharmam. But the elders are no elders if they do not talk about righteousness, goodness. And nate dharmam, yahan, where there is no satyam, there is no dharmam also. You understand? So therefore, if such an audience is there, then it's a very, very beautiful audience. Now, another one little role that the elders have to play in the present setup also. You know, in the olden days, all houses had a threshold. You know, umro. In Gujarati, it was called umro. Do you have an umro now? Nowadays, that modern construction, there's no umro. There's a threshold. You know, you had a actual, and then on the threshold always this om, swastik, etc. was done. You know, sathiyo kare na? You remember that? Okay, fine. Now, the role of an elders is like a, what? Threshold. When you want to go out of your house, you have to cross the threshold. When you come into the house, you have to cross the threshold. So, when an elder person is at home, what happens? If someone goes out, kya jao cho? Ketla vage avsho? Is it true or not? And when they came back, gai kale ratna ketla vage avya? What time did you come back last night? If an elder person is there, he'll ask this question. Is it true or not? What time? And then you know that your father or your mother is waiting, so you come early also, isn't it? Because he's going to ask you tomorrow. It'll get embarrassing. And I've seen in houses where there are no elders. I tell you, the beauty of a house is if there's an elder. If there's a dada, dadi or nana, nani around, that house is a different house. Do you agree with me? It's got a beauty all its own. You cannot replace that. And where there is no this, you will see the bahu of the house would not even have had a bath till 12 in the afternoon. Agreed? Bolo. And there in a house where the sasu is there, no one dares to. Is it true or not? Bolo. નહીંતર પછી મારે જેમ રહેવું હોય તેમ. અને આઈ હેવ સીન હાઉસીસ 12 વાગે જઈએ તો પેલા નાઇટ ડ્રેસમાં હોય. રામા, પણ તમારા છોકરાઓ કેટલા વાગે સ્કૂલે ગયા? તો કે 8 વાગે ગયા. તો કે પણ લંચ બનાવીને પછી બસ બધું. પછી લંચ બનાવી, then they eat the lunch. Then they say, હવે when the husbands come, we will dress. અરે રામ. So evening, they actually finally managed to, am I just talking or is it actually happening? બોલો ભાઈ. What is this? What is this? So therefore, very, very important role that the elders have to play. They add beauty, and they are the ones who, they, the traditions, the culture, the dharma of the place, of the family is all carried with